In last week's video, I was talking about my investment in cameras, telling you guys which cameras were worth the investment and which ones were actually a waste of money. And I remember mentioning this camera here. This is the Blackmagic Cinema Camera 6K full frame. That's a very long name. And in that video, I mentioned this camera and I said it was a waste of money for me, simply because I bought this camera, but I never used it. It was delivered, I unboxed it, I tested it here in the house, it was working, then I just put it on the shelf, and I never really got to use it again until when I was filming that video. Then I realized, oh, there is this camera, it's still here, and I've never really used it. I never had a reason to buy this camera, I don't know why I bought it, but at the end of the day, it was just here collecting dust. So after that video, I told you guys, I'm gonna do this camera justice. Instead of saying it's a waste of money when I've never really used it, I'm gonna put it into taste, and that's what I did last weekend. I took this camera with me to a shoot. I was filming a mini documentary about working out and sports, calisthenics. And for the first time ever, it left this room actually, not just this house. And so today I'm here to share my experience using this camera in the field for the first time. Now, for those of you who know me or who have been watching me for years, I'm not a fan of specs. So if you wanna know the specs of this camera, just go Google them. I'm not gonna mention them in this video, and there are also a lot of review videos out there in which you can find the specs or people talking about the specs. I'm more interested on the user experience of a camera and the footage that comes out of that camera. That is the type of review that I like doing. So first things first, I'd like to apologize to Blackmagic. From the bottom of my heart, I'm saying sorry to you guys for calling this camera a waste of money. I was not aware of your game. After using this camera, the footage that I got from this camera, oh my god. I've never seen anything like that from any of the cameras that I own. I was so attached to the 6K Pro, probably because of the internal NDs and also the fact that I had a good healthy collection of EF lenses, which I was already familiar with and I really liked using. And also due to the fact that we as humans are just reluctant to change. We are not that open to change, you know what I'm saying? So probably that's the reason why I never switched to this camera after I got it. So I just stuck with the 6K Pro, which always did the work for me. And in my previous video, I praised that camera saying it's the best camera I've ever owned. But I think in this video, that's just about to change. As you can see, for my first shoot with this camera, I paired it with the Surrey. Is it pronounced Surrey? Surrey? I don't know, but you know which brand I'm talking about. They're Vision Prime lenses. They're cine lenses with an aperture of T1.4, if I'm not wrong. Let me just confirm. Yeah, T1.4. I don't know why I'm trying to remember when I can just read here. I'm telling you, the image quality that came out of this camera paired with these lenses is unlike anything that I've ever gotten using my 6K Pro. At first I didn't notice the difference that much because I think I was just focused on the shoot. But then later on, when I continued filming, that's when I realized like, oh, wait a minute, this footage looks different. And that's just from the camera monitor. I had mounted a monitor here and I remember watching the footage and just thinking to myself, dang, this is so good. And then when I got back home, I was super excited. I put the footage into my computer and that's when everything changed. Like my entire perspective towards this camera just changed. And I think I'm gonna be switching to this camera. I'm no longer gonna be using the 6K Pro unless I need it for a specific style of shoot. Let's say the internal NDs. I think I'll miss the internal NDs dearly. Apart from that, I don't think there is much that I'm gonna miss from the 6K Pro because these cameras are just kinda the same. They're kinda similar, but I feel like the 6K full frame has a superior sensor. Not because it's a full frame sensor, but because I feel like the colors coming out of this sensor are just way better than the colors coming out of the 6K Pro sensor. I don't know if it's just me or I don't know if I'm just overhyped at the moment, and with time maybe I'll just come to see that yeah, maybe they're just similar, but so far I've really marveled at the quality of footage that has been coming out of this camera. Color grading the footage was so easy, it was so simple, like I really enjoyed it. All the colors come out the way you had them in your head. Oh my goodness, like chef's kiss. I don't even know what to say. Like, I didn't even notice that this camera has autofocus. It's a feature that I'm actually not gonna use that much maybe, but it's a welcome feature, you know, like when you're filming those interview talking heads, autofocus could be great in case your subject keeps moving around back and forth, you know, like autofocus can come in handy in such situations. A lot of people don't really know much about this camera. Not so many people own this camera. I know a lot of people who own the 6K Pro, but very few people actually own this camera. Probably because of the lower frame rates compared to the 6K Pro or the internal NDs, I don't know, or even the fact that 6K Pro uses EF lenses, and a lot of people who had transitioned from Canon had a lot of EF lenses lying around. I don't know, but just like me, maybe they haven't just discovered that this camera is incredible and they just have to try it for themselves. So if you're out there thinking about getting this camera, I think it will be worth it. I still haven't used it in a bigger project. Like the project that I used this camera on wasn't that big. That's why I was willing to experiment with it, because if it's a bigger project, I'm not experimenting. I'm taking the camera that I'm used to using, you know. But on this particular project, I decided to experiment because it wasn't that big. But I think on my next big project, I'm bringing this camera with me 100%. Anyway, guys, I hope you got value from this video. If you did, kindly give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. Otherwise, thank you for watching and see you next week. Blessings.